Good afternoon, Stephen Elliott of Coherent Breathing. It is July 13th, 2025. As forewarned, I'll be speaking to principle number 7 today, having to do with the sine wave. We've discussed this a number of times previously, and it has everything to do with the fact that breathing is a circulatory function, and it describes and or defines how breathing should operate, and consequently how blood flow and fluid in the body function as a consequence of coherent breathing. So today our subject once again dwells on sinusoidality and what a sine wave is and how might we move our diaphragm so as to emulate the sine function. I've discussed this in the last couple of videos to some extent, so if you want to or need to catch up, have a look at those videos and you'll be with us on principle number 7. Now, I like to think that by breathing in a synchronous, coherent, sinusoidal manner, where the sine wave is the fundamental expression of synchrony, and quantum mechanics is now finding, quantum physics is now finding that at the root of everything that we can see and know, what exists is an infinite number of extremely small vibrations. These are referred to as strings in string theory, where the idea is that a string exists between two poles, and that string is vibrating like a harp string, which also vibrates in a sinusoidal manner. You've heard me speak of the human body as being resonant, and that the structures of the human body vibrate in a sinusoidal manner, especially when our posture is quite right and we're breathing coherently. Now, it's a little hard for people to grasp what a sine wave is about. So today I wanted to demonstrate simply with the necklace I'm wearing what a sine function is, if I can find it somewhere in here. The pendulum is a sine function that we all understand and have seen. We may not recognize it as such, but it is a pendulum, and it emulates the sine wave ideally in a laboratory situation. I get it in front of the camera here. So a swing on a playground is also an example of sinusoidal action. My sister and I used to play on the swings in the park that had a very high bar and very long chains. Sorry, my camera's cutting out part of this as a function of how I'm situated with Zoom. But what we would do is get on these swings with very long chains, actually not quite long enough to emulate coherent breathing, but swinging as high as we could go without it becoming irregular. We could get a 3-second or so forward motion on the swing and a 3-second or so reverse motion on the swing. The swing and our body comprising the pendulum, and we would then synchronize our inhalation and exhalation with the motion of the swing. So we're all familiar with that as well. It is well, you've heard me say the sine wave is the signature of nature. And again, quantum mechanics or quantum physics has found that to be true at the most microscopic level of the universe. So I like to think that by breathing coherently, we are breathing or aspiring to breathe sinusoidally, and consequently, we are breathing in a synchronous and a symmetrically synchronous pattern, which is the nature of the vibrations that we see in quantum physics. So as we go about practicing coherent breathing, we want to aspire to breathe in this way. What I mean by this is we want to train the diaphragm to move at this rate. If you're familiar with the action of Tai Chi, as I've used as an example before, it also moves in a sinusoidal manner. And to the extent possible, if we emulate sinusoidal action in our Tai Chi motion, our Tai Chi will become alive with the signature of nature. And with that, the effectiveness of Tai Chi is greatly enhanced. So just an example of where and how to apply it in addition to our normal daily practice of coherent breathing, and potentially how we breathe as we go about our daily lives. Again, the importance of this is that this sinusoidal action facilitates a circular blood flow in the body, aiding the heart and the arterial tree in moving blood throughout the body, the venous tree returning blood to the lungs and through the right heart, and the exhalation sending blood out of the lungs through the left heart and out through the arterial tree and ascending aorta. So this is the science, if you will, behind coherent breathing. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people don't articulate this in their YouTube videos because they've not read The New Science of Breath, supposedly, where it is described in chapters 1 and 2 and further on throughout the book. But this is what I will leave you with today. So make yourself a pendulum that you can play with. You can put any weight on the end of it or sit in a swing, ideally with pretty long chains. So you get a pretty long period of inhalation as you swing backwards and exhalation as you swing forwards. Give that a try and let me know of your experience. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you next week.